guys, today's the big one. Select Red Duelist, card of the week. We're talking about UAs. Now UA was never really, a big meta force, as I'm sure anybody who knows anything about this game will agree, but they should also agree that Konami dropped the ball hard with this archetype, and given the proper care, it could have been just an extremely good deck. So the main card we're going to talk about is UA Perfect Ace, but we're going to go over the whole archetype. We're going to go over the archetype as a whole, not like every individual card, but as a whole, the gimmick of the archetype, and why Konami should revisit it, since they seem to be liking revisiting older archetypes lately. And just, I don't know, I really like this archetype. It is one of my favorites. I really enjoyed playing it during Necro's format with 3 Rhoda right around the time Tellarknights won Worlds, and then dashed my hopes because they put Rhoda to 1. Thanks, guys. So anyways, we're going to get right on into this. So UA Perfect Ace is a level 5 Earth Warrior with 1500 attack and 2500 defense. And his effect is you can special summon this card from your hand by returning 1 UA monster you control to the hand except UA Perfect Ace. You can only special summon UA Perfect Ace once per turn this way. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can discard 1 card, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. This is a quick effect. So back in the day when you had the right quick effect down like that. Only ever been printed once. He was a rare, big boy, Mr. UA Perfect Ass. Just the best. So you could see by him the type of effects that they were going for UA. UA was a deck that would bounce back your cards to get bigger guys out and do cooler stuff. They only ever had 1 level 4, which I think was their downfall. They only ever had 1 monster that could be used for a normal summon. They never had a single holo card, but they had tons of. If their support was put into any other deck, that deck could have been tier 1. UA has such good support that it's insane. We'll go over a few more of them here right now. So all of them share that effect that you can bounce 1 to special them. So you have Playmaker, who if another UA monster declares an attack, you can have him lose 800 and then have that monster gain 800. He's a level 8, 2600. There's Goalkeeper, who during your opponent's turn you can target a UA and make it indestructible by battle of card effects with 2800 defense, so he's a big boy. You have Midfielder, who's the level 4, who allows you to bounce on your opponent's turn, targeting another UA and return it to the hand, and then special summon 1 with a different name. So he was your main Playmaker, and I feel like, honestly, if they got that other normal summonable monster, they could have done so much more in the time that they were around. Mighty Slugger is Armadi's. Opponent can activate cards or effects during damage stuff. Dreadnought Dunker was just an amazing card in general. Let's see, where is my boy? There he is. Okay, he didn't show up. Dreadnought Dunker inflicts piercing, and when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. So Dreadnought Dunker was one of the big pushers for game. This card combined with a Mighty Jersey was a very, very disgusting combo that we'll get into. You have Rival Rebounder, who when a UA, if he is special summoned during your opponent's turn or normal summoned, you special another UA from your hand or graveyard. So the famous combo that UA had was having a midfielder out with a Perfect Ace, negating 1 effect with Perfect Ace, then bouncing it back with the midfielder to special summon Rival Rebounder, and then special summoning the Perfect Ace back to get another negate. Little plays like that. Level 6, they had a huge toolbox. Level 6s, level 7s. Speaking of level 7s, we're getting the Blockbacker. So Blockbacker, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can change their battle positions, and if you do, negate their effects. Nowadays, this wouldn't come up as much due to Link monsters being a huge meme. I mean, it could still inhibit some shit that goes down. But back when this card came out, he was very underrated. I don't remember ever seeing anybody ever playing Blockbacker. I'm probably misremembering it because I like to feel special and think that I'm the only one who ever did it. But I don't remember ever seeing him. Let's see here. What else do we got? I like how the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki recommended cards does not mention UA Stadium as a recommended card in the deck. Alright, so I called it Mighty Jersey. It's actually Powered Jersey. Sorry. So your equipped monster gains 1,000 attack and defense, and if it battles a monster, any battle damage is doubled. And then if the equipped monster destroys a monster by battle with its attack, it can make a second attack. And then during the standby phase, you banish the equipped monster, and if it's sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster returned to hand, you return this card to the hand. Powered Jersey is the best card in that whole fucking deck. Do not try to fight me on this. Powered Jersey plus Dreadnought Dunker was the most disgusting combo in any low rarity deck I've ever fucking seen. So signing deal, you special UA from your deck, but it can't be used as a material for pretty much anything. The effects are negated and you lose life points equal to its level times 300. But this was your main recruiter pretty much, and it's necessary now at 3. It wasn't necessary at 3 before, but if you were going to play this deck in 2019, which I hope in some way, Konami, please, after Dark Neostorm, when we get that set after that, revisit UA, please. Please. You got your 2 waves of Noble Knights, and now we got our 2 waves of Valkyries coming up. Give us 2 waves more of UA. I will love you forever. I want this deck to be playable. Again, please. Signing deal. Turnover Tactics was a bit underrated. It's a very, very conditional card. You shuffle in all monsters on the field and then special summon UA monsters equal to the number that you shuffled in, and your opponent's special is the same that was shuffled into their main deck. So this card can actually like break out your opponent. If you return everything to the extra deck, they get no monsters. But you have to be careful, because if you put even one back in their main deck, they can just bring out their big boss boy, you know. And then the main card of the deck, UA Stadium, apparently had an Astral Pack reprint for some reason. No clue why. But UA Stadium is one of the best, honestly, I feel like one of the best field spells ever made. When a UA is normal summoned to your side of the field, you add a UA from your deck to your hand. And then once per turn, if a UA is special to your side of the field, all monsters you currently control gain 500 attack, even if it leaves the field. So this card rewards you for just playing the deck as intended. But, you know, with that first one, it having to be a normal summon to get your search, that is where the deck falls off. Because they only have one good normal summon. And that's midfielder. Everything else is a level 5 or higher, and it's going to require tribute. Unless you're a meme lord and play something like a Feast of the Wild level 5, and then tribute over your Mighty Slugger. Because he's still a good card to run. You know. But I've heard a good number of YouTubers agree. I've heard Robbie say this many times before, that if UA were given that one extra card, they could have been something just so good. I guess we've already gone over the whole archetype. I'll just go over this other one. I'm sorry I lied to you. Let's see, we have Penalty Box. It's their only trap card. At the start of the damage step, if UA battles, you can banish that opponent's monster until their second end phase. And then you can banish it from grave to add a UA spell card from your deck to your hand. So you can combo this with your Perfect Ace to get your... It's basically a free discard, because you can just search a Powered Jersey right after, you know, hoo-ha, the whole world works. You know, of all the decks to give support to, why did you make FA? And why did you make them different than UA? You could... I'm hurt. Konami has hurt me by printing FA, obviously meant to imply some relation to UA, and not only making them completely different to UA, but making them even more hot garbage than UA ended up being. And UA wasn't a bad deck. I notoriously made people really salty by beating the shit out of Necros with this deck I bought for $5. Like, if they were able to just give them that one extra wave of support. You promised me hockey cards, Konami. Look at the Art of Penalty box. There's hockey players. You promised me hockey players. Where the fuck are they? I need them. And it's like they like rubbing salt in my wounds. Because, let's see, we got Defense Zone here. Defense Zone is a very shitty field spell card that features UA cards on it. They really enjoy fucking with me. And we'll go into, I think it's Savage Strike as well. Let's see, where are you at? We're getting into this. They like printing these cards with UA monsters on them, but they're not UA cards. And it makes me so mad. Like, probably more mad than I should be. The field spell is playable, but this next one isn't even playable, I feel like. And it's literally called Time Wasting. It has a bunch of UA monsters on here. If your opponent has 4,000 or more life points, your life points become 1,000 life points less than your opponent's. Why was this card made? Why did it have to feature fucking UAs? What are you trying to say to me? Are you trying to insult me personally? What did I do to deserve this, Konami? The one archetype in the entire game I legitimately want more support for, every other one is pretty much a meme, is UA. And you print these terrible, terrible cards with their pictures on them, and if they were just UA cards, this art would look amazing in UA. You promised me hockey monsters. I need my hockey cards, Konami. You better deliver on this. You better. I'm getting real emotional, guys. I'm starting to cry. I'm starting to cry. That being said, I said it when Cybernetic came out, with Noble Knights being one of the TCG archetypes. In the back of my head, I'm like, they're revisiting Noble Knights. They knew they fucked up the first time, and they didn't really make them that good. Can they do it to UA? Can they go back to UA? And genuinely, yes, I think they can, and they will. I don't know when. I don't know how they're gonna do it. But I definitely think they will. Even if it's shitty support, I just want more support for this deck. You know, it is the deck that was not appreciated at the time because it came out with Burning Abyss and everybody, you know, jizzed the fuck over Burning Abyss. When UA first came out, they had Stadium, Mighty Slugger, and Perfect Days. I don't think they had anything else. I think that was legitimately it. And you had no real way to play the deck. And then came Midfielder, Blockbacker, and we started to get the other stuff. We started to get the Power Jersey. Pretty much as soon as we got Midfielder, the deck became playable. Because now you actually had access to that normal summon to get your Surge. Because literally just normal summoning Midfielder opened you up to a turn 1 negation of any card. The deck could easily flow into, you know, countless, what's the word I'm looking for? Floodgates. You could play Vanities, you could play Goes and Rivalry, you could play all of those in there. You can still play all of those in there. You can actually really still play There Can Be Only One, because you just sit on Perfect Ace and just be like, haha, negate anything. It wouldn't be optimal. It would probably be more optimal to play Rivalry since everything is a warrior. Alright, so I guess we'll end it soon. What kind of support should they get and will they get? Well, we need the hockey cards. They need one more monster that you can normal summon without a fucking tribute, and they need a Link monster. That is what they need. Some kind of... just something, Konami. You're doing good thus far. I like the one Valkyrie card we've seen so far. It was pretty decent. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest. Hopefully OCG doesn't get them before we do, because that kind of defeats the purpose of them being TCG exclusive. I don't want another double Helix situation on our fucking hands. You already gave Vendread and FA Link monsters. Why, by the way? The FA one is fucking garbage. FA is garbage. You ruined it. You could have made it related to UA, but no. You have to make it its own separate thing, and it's a big ol' meme. You made FA a meme, and that's what hurts the most about it. They're not related in the .A archetype at all. They play completely differently, and they suck really bad. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling. You can tell I'm quite emotional. Next week, we might have a week off. I don't know. It depends on how busy I get. But we should finally go back to talking about Tuners next week. If there is an episode, there should be, but there's a chance there's not going to be. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, check us out on TCGPlayer. We're Sora Online. We'll see you next time. Peace. I love you. Bye-bye.